Are you ready to find love in Coral Island? With 28 candidates to choose from, who will you tie the knot with? Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Sunstone, and today I will be breaking down the relationship mechanics for Coral Island and briefly introducing you to all 28 dateable candidates. Excitingly, the game's 1.0 release will debut marriage mechanics, so it's time to get ready for romance. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. First up, please note that romance is an optional feature in the game, so it is by no means necessary to progress any core game mechanics. But if you are up for finding love, you will be able to date, marry, and have children with any of the 28 romanceable NPCs, regardless of gender. You will, however, ultimately have to settle on just one character to tie the knot with, as you can only marry one NPC at a time, with whom you can have up to 2 children total with. The team has yet to confirm anything with regards to divorce or breakup mechanics, but I'm imagining this is something that will ultimately be possible down the line if it's not already. Of course, you will need to start off with building a friendship before jumping into romance with any of the characters. You can gain friendship points with any of the NPCs by talking to them daily, completing town errands, participating in other activities around town, and giving them gifts. The town errands are found at the bulletin board by Sam's, and they are posted for specific characters, so be sure to check back daily. In terms of town activities, we don't yet have concrete information on how we gain friendship in this regard, but it does seem that I have gained relationship points when I've attended festivals, improved the town rank, upgraded the museum with relevant NPCs. So I think that's a really nice feature that makes the game just that much more dynamic. As for gifts, you may give each of the characters up to 2 gifts every in-game week, plus 1 extra gift on their birthday, which will be displayed on their character page, along with how many gifts you have given them each week. Their birthdays are also displayed on the town calendar if you forget. Every NPC has their own unique preferences for gifts, items they will love, like, be neutral towards, dislike, or hate. These will be tracked here as you discover them. You will also be able to collect character portraits based on expressions they've shared with you in conversation and outfits they've worn. And there's even a handy little Find NPC button to help you track them down when you have a special delivery for them or just want to chat. I personally love that Coral Island displays character locations on the game map once you've met them for the first time. As you level up friendship, you will progressively unlock new dialogue and character-specific events or cutscenes to learn more about them. Not only will you need to reach certain heart levels for each character to activate the events, but you will also have to explore different areas of the map, potentially at certain times of day or in specific seasons to trigger them. Once you achieve 2 hearts or more with each character, you will have a chance to receive a gift from said character in your mailbox. Even further, you will be able to unlock cooking recipes at different heart levels from certain NPCs, which are definitely incentives to get to know all the characters, dateable or not. Also, friendship does not appear to decay over time, so you shouldn't lose points with those you may ignore periodically. Once you achieve 8 hearts with a dateable candidate, you will be able to enter a romantic relationship by gifting them a locket, which should be available for purchase at the blacksmiths once you reach that heart level with any character. It seems that you can give a locket to as many of the characters as you would like and experience the romantic events before deciding who you actually want to settle down with. Also, I'd like to add that if you're not interested in romancing anyone, you will only miss out on the romantic events from this point forward. The characters' full friendship stories should be told ahead of this point in cutscenes at or before the 8 heart level. Once you reach 10 hearts with a character, this is when you should be able to propose to them. While we don't yet know how exactly this will work, we have seen the player give a ring to Waku in the latest trailer, so likely quite similar to the locket mechanic, except for the fact that you can only give 1. Now, one other thing I want to briefly address is that an additional hangout and dating mechanic is in the works to be included in a free update sometime next year. While you will still be experiencing romantic date type events in 1.0, this feature sounds like it'll give us more control over experiencing something like this on a more frequent basis. While we currently know nothing about this feature, I would speculate that this feature might unlock once you reach a certain heart threshold with each character, and from there you can ask them on dates or to hang out out if you're just friends. I can't wait to learn more about all of this, and feel free to share your ideas for how this future could look down in the comments. One other thing I wanted to speak on are the post-marriage events and experiences. While we don't know how this will look in 1.0, it is something that will likely only continue to be updated in the future. It was very important to the team that you would experience post-marriage events, and they really do not want your partner to feel like a mindless NPC roaming around your farm. So I have high hopes that whether it's at 1.0 or further down the line, we're going to have a dynamic post-marriage experience. This sentiment also goes for the kids you may have, so I do want to remind you that although your kids will eventually grow up and will be dynamic characters, this will not be available in the 1.0 release. They are going to stay as babies until a future update in 2024. So that covers the basics of the relationship and friendship mechanics. Now let's meet your 28 candidates. First up is Aaliyah, an ex-military pilot aspiring to become an astronaut. She enjoys playing volleyball and living an active lifestyle. She currently lives at the Fish and Sip with her mother Betty and younger brother Noah, but is the eldest of 3 siblings, and apparently a prankster. Alice runs the family inn where she lives with her twin sister Suki. She has an interest in unexplained phenomena, specifically the possibility of extraterrestrial life, which apparently she studied a little bit back in university. She also loves to read a good book. Ben is the definition of chill and easygoing. He lives in his camper van in the forest with his pet duck Fun Bucket and an extensive collection of healing crystals. He loves road trips, spends his money on music festivals, and is not always on the island. Sometimes he's out traveling. Jaem is an athlete in training who dreams of entering a national volleyball competition one day. She also works part-time as a lifeguard and lives in the observatory. Charles is the local doctor who uses his free time to catch up with islanders around town and give out a ton of medical advice. He also tends to have bad luck, but it doesn't seem to stop him. He lives in Starlet Town with Scott as his housemate. Eva, short for Everest, is a talented baker who works at Sam's General Store and loves chatting with islanders. She loves getting to know everyone, be it locals, newcomers, visitors, just everyone. She sews most of her clothes herself, which is so sweet, and she lives at the Coral Inn. Kenny has lived on Coral Island for his entire life and works part-time as a rancher. He has close connections with islanders, animals, trees, and spirits from the beyond. He enjoys picnics, playing his flute, and lives with his parents in a cabin in the woods. Leah is a self-employed yoga instructor at the community center in Charlotte Town. She is very involved with her social media presence and lives at her family's mansion with all of her designer collections. Lily works remotely for a cybersecurity company and has no set working hours. Despite making a very good living, she still lives at home with her family, but really enjoys solitude and has a very impressive collection of bonsai. Luke comes from old money and feels pressure to take over his family vineyard where he resides with his parents and his dog Taco. He started up Socket and Pan in an attempt to create a name for himself, separate from his family. Luke is known for being a foodie and for his tendency to overthink things. Macy grew up on a neighboring island, but now lives full-time at the Coral Inn. Though there's nothing specifically tying her down here, so she might just move on, unless maybe she were to meet someone. She makes a living through photography, she loves nature, playing video games, and of course, Steven, her rescued blue lobster. Mark is a member of the BOS, an international group for hunters. He volunteers at the animal shelter in his free time and lives in the woodlands with his sister, her family, and Bonbon. He has a bit of a cold personality, but you can really see what's deep down inside when he interacts with animals. Millie works at the library, oversees the museum, and helps the mayor with arranging festivals, donations, and other community matters. She is a busy bee. She also loves birdwatching, restoring old books, and lives at her house that she owns with her pet lizard named Tin. Next up is Nina, who actually does not live on Coral Island anymore, but still visits her vacation home at the beach from time to time. She is well educated, humble, a flirt in nature, and enjoys lavish vacations. Noah was born and raised on Coral Island. Noah spends his days running the Fish and Sip, where he also lives. Although this occupies most of his days, when he does have free time, he enjoys spending quality time with his mom and discussing unexplained phenomena with Alice, who is his close friend. Pablo is a local blacksmith who is well loved by everyone, charismatic, and a flirt. He always has a smile on his face and is often found helping out around town or hanging out with friends. Raphael is also a local blacksmith who runs the shop with his older brother Pablo. But unlike Pablo, who is a social butterfly, Raphael is reserved and prefers silence. But he is very friendly and respectful towards others. He also makes a great effort to help out around town. Raj is a coffee connoisseur who owns and operates a small outdoor cafe in Starlet Town. They seem to be pretty focused on growing their business. However, they do also balance this with downtime, reading a good book, and lounging in nature. They live at the Coral Inn and are a non-binary character. Scott is anything but boring and always up for fun. He has a passion for artifacts and has dedicated his life to preserving them through his work at the museum. He enjoys strong coffee, rainy days, and vintage jazz, and rents a room from Charles. Suki runs the Coral Inn with her twin sister Alice. She puts her daughter Valentina above anything else. While she is separated from her ex-husband, she hopes to build a healthy co-parenting relationship, and just in general, healthy living is very important to her. Surya is a fresh marine biologist graduate who recently moved to Coral Island, living with his aunt and uncle. He works at the lab on weekdays and spends his free time hanging out with friends, but it does seem that he's just starting to find his footing around the island. Theo is a local fisherman who spends most of his days fishing or playing guitar. On the weekends, he performs at the local tavern to make a quick buck. In contrast, Theo doesn't drink and apparently hates traveling, but he loves outdoor cookouts, festivals, and camping. Waku is an astronomer who works and lives at the observatory during the week. On the weekends, he spends a lot of time with his dad, who is very important to him. Yuri is a doctor who spent years volunteering her services for a worldwide doctor's program, receiving little or no pay before settling down on Coral Island. Outside of work, she likes to play chess and pool, and she rents a room from Millie. Zara is an adventurer at heart. She lives a very mysterious life on a boat and enjoys searching the island for all kinds of treasures, like gems, artifacts, or maybe even buried history. But if you want to adopt a pet cat, you'll have to make a decision because Zara is unfortunately very allergic. So those are all the land folk that are dateable. However, there are also 3 merfolk characters who you will ultimately be able to romance, though this feature will be coming post 1.0 sometime in 2024, which honestly makes perfect sense because the logistics behind romancing, marrying, and having children with a merfolk NPC compared with a land NPC are likely much more complex, and honestly we have enough to keep ourselves busy with in the meantime. We can wait, but let's still meet the 3 future romanceable candidates for the Merfolk Kingdom. So first up is Denali, a royal gatekeeper of the Merfolk Kingdom who is following in her dad's footsteps. She guards the kingdom with unwavering pride and a sparkle in her gaze, exploring the depths with enthusiasm before returning to her family home each day. Princess Miranjani lives in the Merfolk Kingdom with her royal family. She is sweet and kind, with curiosity as boundless as the galaxy. She has an adorable sea dragon pet named Nagalita, and she thinks that doorknobs are the coolest thing. And finally, Sumeru is all about keeping the kingdom safe, and he takes his duty very seriously. As such, he is extremely cautious and distrusting of land dwellers, so proceed with caution. So those were the 28 romanceable characters, but don't forget that you will also ultimately be able to marry other players in multiplayer. Again, this is a post 1.0 feature planned for sometime in 2024. There are just so many amazing things to look forward to, even beyond the 1.0 release of Coral Island. So I hope you're all ready to embark on this amazing journey with me. Please make sure you're subscribed with your notifications on because I will always keep you guys in the loop. Please let me know down in the comments who you are going to be marrying first, if you're going to have multiple save files to marry multiple characters, and don't forget to vote on my poll to inform my future content and help decide which character our community thinks is the best romanceable of them all, which will be linked down in the description and in the pinned comment. Please give the video a like if you're ready for all things romance in Coral Island. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and until next time, take care. And a very special thanks to Paul, Meredith, Ember, Formotus, Tansy, Becca, Anime Lover, Jack, Janes, Cisco, Cheese, Divine Raven, Blossom, Kayla, Wolf, Salem, Zeres, Lawrence, Fabiola, Sunshine, Kicknell, and Alyssa, my beautiful gemstone members. I love you all very much, and thank you so much for the extra support on the channel, which really helps to make everything I do possible and means the absolute world to me.